through redistricting. So we've just gone through the redistricting process, and we now have a new Florida US House map, a new congressional map, a new Florida Senate map, and a new Florida House map. So we did some work analyzing those new districts, and we were trying to figure out which ones we should, I call a swing district. Which one are the districts where the number of Democrats and the number of Republicans are pretty close, right? In other words, these are the contested races. These are the races that for us are winnable, right? Our goal is to get more people to Tallahassee and more people to Washington, D.C. So we can work really hard in all of our races, but frankly, some of them aren't very winnable, or the odds of winning them are really, really low, right? Because the numbers are just not there. So I thought it would be good to really start looking critically at the ones that are in play, the ones that are really winnable, the ones that are really going to make a difference in the election, okay? So we did this analysis on swing districts. So I'm going to run through them for you. And what I want to show you first is US House, our congressional. So this time around, you know, we picked up a congressional seat, right? We went from 27 to 28. Currently, the mix is 11 Democrats elected and 16 Republicans. So at a minimum, we would like not to lose seats in Washington, right? That new map that our wonderful, awful governor put together has reduced the number of swing districts from 5 to 2. So there are only 8 blue seats within the congressional districts now. And there are no longer 5 swing districts, there's only 2. Those 2 are both down in the southern part of our state. So Congressional District 27 is split between, I'm sorry, it's all in southern Miami-Dade. And Congressional District 28 is the southernmost part of Miami-Dade and all of Monroe County. So in 27, the Dem margin is Democrats are plus 1%, meaning there's 1% more Democrats there than Republicans. And 28 is actually 4% more Republican than Democratic, okay? But close enough where, you know, a good turnout can win them either way, okay? And then this also lists all the candidates who are running. I got to tell you, one of the best days I had was when Senator Taddeo decided to jump into House District 27, because I thought that'll really up the odds of us winning there and putting another strong candidate into that race. And then, but you notice there's only 2 swing districts, and I told you we need 3 to actually break even, right? So then I went down the list and I found the least Republican district, which happens to be number 15. It's an R+7 district, right? So not a cakewalk by any means.
I'm sorry to interrupt you. I know this, but some people may not understand what R+4, R+7 means. Can you explain that it means percentage?
Yeah, so, okay, let me go over that. So let's look at this House District 15 in Hillsborough, I think Polk and Lake. It has, it's a Republican district, right? There's there's 7% more Republicans than Democrats there. So for us to overcome that, we really have to persuade a lot of independents. We have to have good Democratic turnout, persuade a lot of independents to come vote our way, and maybe even peel off some disadvantaged or disgruntled Republicans. You can see it's highly contested. There's 5 Democrats running and 5 Republicans running in this race. So it will be a hotly contested race. But if we're going to win 3 seats, the two purple ones and 1 red one, that's the most likely red one that we can peel off. The next one after this is an R+13. So it gets a lot worse faster. Okay. So these are 3 critical races that we really need to win or we're going to lose seats in Washington, D.C. Now let's look at the Senate, our Florida Senate. There's 40 seats in the Senate. With the new maps, there's 13 that are pretty safely blue, okay? There are 6 swing districts and 21 safe red districts, okay? And these right here are the 6 that are swing districts. Now, I've actually been able to calculate for you the Dem margin advantage. So this is actually the raw number of Democrats minus Republicans. So you can see in District 38, there's 13,000, almost 700 more Democrats than Republicans, right? These are the candidates that are running, and these are the counties where that district resides. And you can see there's 3 that are kind of, you know, above water, right? And the negative numbers means there's 92 more Republicans than Democrats in that race, 5,000 more Republicans than Democrats, and 15,000. Okay, so again, it gets tougher the further we go down the list. To break even, we need to win 3 of 6. We've got to win at least 3 of these to not lose ground in Tallahassee in the Senate. If we can win a 4th one, then we'll actually pick up a Senate seat, okay? Get the idea with this? Now, I want to show you the House. There's 120 House seats, Florida House. 37 are safely blue, 25 are swing, that's really good, and 58 are safely red, okay? These are the districts here, and they run from highest margin to lowest, okay? So that's how they're sorted. Again, this is who's running and which counties are involved. So take a look and see if your county has any swing districts in them. All right. Here's the next page. I have 3 pages of these. So I'll just let this be here for just a second so you can see it. So we go across a bunch of different counties, right? Big ones, little ones. And now here's the last page of them. And there were 3 of these races where we did not field a candidate. So 3 of these, 3 of the 25 we're not going to contest because no Democrat was running. That was really a missed opportunity for us in those races. But for us to break even on the House races, we have to win 5 of the 25, okay? So if you think about what I showed you for Congress, for Florida Senate, Florida House, it almost seems like the easiest place for us to really pick up seats is here in the House. This is where we have the most chances, right, to do it. But at a minimum, we have to come away with 5 just to stay even with what we have right now in Tallahassee. And remember, our goal is to try to add people, pick up seats in the election. Okay, so Mary Lou, let me stop here before I move on. Are there any questions about how we've identified these swing districts?
Let me see. Okay, I can't pull up the chat box. I have it up. Sorry about that. There was one question. All right. What strategy what is the strategy to reach Hispanic voters in South Florida?
Okay, good question. Let's save that one to the end, Mary Lou. Okay. All right. And you'll see just how important that area is in a little bit. Okay, so this was a lot of swing districts, right? We talked about 6 for the Senate and 25 for the House. So we felt like, wow, we're not really big enough to play in all of those, work in all of those swing districts. So we needed a way to try to identify kind of which ones do we think are the best prospects for us to win them, right? So we came up with 4 criteria, which I want to show you, and we have equal weighted that criteria. So each of the 4 criteria have the same weighting across our scoring model. And here's how it works. So the first criteria we look at is the candidate's ability to raise money. And we didn't just assign like a dollar value, because the races are very different in the amounts of money you raise for a Senate race versus a House race. So we did it proportionally. We wanted to see what are we raising compared to our competition, right? So if we raise less than 75% of the amount that the Republican raises, that scores a 1. If we're kind of close, 75 to 125% of the Republican, it's a 3. And if we outraise the Republican by more than 125%, so if they raise 100,000 and we raise 125,000, we'd score a 5, okay? So that's our first criteria. We get the data from the Division of Elections website. It posts every couple of weeks. So I have numbers now, and we'll keep monitoring it as we go. The second criteria we thought would be important is if the person has prior elected experience. So if they have no elected experience, they score a 1. If they've been elected to office in like a nonpartisan race where they didn't run as a Democrat, but they have run and served in a nonpartisan race, that scores a 3. And if they are an elected official or have been an elected official in a partisan office, then that scores a 5. We think it's important that a person who has experience running for office and serving in office is probably going to be a better candidate than someone who doesn't have that experience. Third is that Dem margin. Remember, that's been on those spreadsheets, those charts I showed you earlier, the number of Democrats minus the number of Republicans. And basically we just divided it in thirds, right? So if we think back to the Senate where there's 6, the bottom 2 score a 1, the middle 2 score a 3, and the top 2 score a 5, okay? Just because, you know, the number of Democrat advantage does make a difference, right? So the higher the Dem margin, the easier it is going to be to win. And this fourth criteria is really why we are having the town hall meeting tonight. We want to have a criteria that is built on club and or region support, because we think we should be working where you all want to do the work. So you have the ability to have some input as to where you would like to do your campaign work. If a given race, a given district has no club or region that wants to support it, it scores a 1. If we have at least one club or one region that wants to work on that particular district, they score a 3. And if we have more than one club or region that wants to work on a particular race, it scores a 5, okay? So this is the degree of Democratic Women's Club support for a race, right? We want to be doing work where you are passionate and want to contribute, okay? All right, so what does working in a swing district look like? So first, you have the option to do work in your home county, right? It might be the case where your home county has a swing district in it. That would be fabulous. And then we'll try to make sure we're focusing our efforts, if we need to, into those precincts that make up that swing district. But you may also be in a county where you do not have any swing districts. That's the case where I am here in St. John's. We don't have any swing districts. So for us, we can decide whether we want to work in our home county or work in a swing district or a combination of both, right? There's nothing that says we can't do both. But what would it look like if you were going to work on a swing district? So when you look at the campaign activities that we do for vote by mail, what I'm calling remote campaign support are things that you can do from your home county, right? We can text and phone and mail from anywhere within the state of Florida, right? So we don't have to be in the county that we are supporting to be able to do all of those things. For in-district support, if we are doing canvassing or lit dropping, there we have to be boots on the ground, and we have to actually physically be in the county, in the district where we're going to be working. And then, you know, it takes money to run a campaign. So donations can come from anywhere to be able to help with the campaign expenses. For those of you who have made a donation to the Grassroots campaign in the past, you know, we've been trying to be really good about designating Grassroots or candidate support, because both sources of funds go into the political committee. But if we go forward with this and you pick a swing district and you have funds that you specifically want to go to a swing district, we need to code the donation that way so we get it to the right place, okay? But these are the things that you would be doing. You would be working on texting, phoning, mailing. If you have the ability to go in person, some might be able to if it's not too far. You can work on canvassing and lit dropping, and everyone can help donate funds. Okay, so here's how the model works. I thought maybe some examples might be helpful to you. Now you notice this club region support is yellow because this is where we need your feedback. We need to know if there are any clubs or regions that want to adopt any of these particular races, okay? And you're going to get, Monica sent us all of the people who signed up tonight. So one of the things we are going to do is send you our presentation. And we're also going to send you a couple Excel files, worksheets that look like this, that break down and handicap every single race. So you can see all the blue ones, all the red ones, every House and Senate race, so you can see where they land, okay? But here's how this works. So let's look at Senate District 38 first. Remember, the Dem margin is 13,000. Janelle Perez is running. She's raised 125,000 against Alexis, who's raised 117. Okay, so candidate fundraising scores a 3 because these numbers are really close, right? Elected experience, Janelle, from our research, does not have prior elected experience, so she scores a 1. Dem margin is good. She's in the top 1/3, right? So she scores a 5. So far she has a score of 9, but she can get more points if some clubs want to adopt this race. Now look at Janet. Okay, Janet has, in terms of fundraising, she is way ahead of her opponent, right? She's got 244,000 compared to 17,000. Wow, so she scores a 5 in fundraising. She also has is elected experience, so she scores a 5. And her Dem margin is in the top 1/3, so she scores a 5. So she's got a perfect score going on her race so far. I would say of everybody on this page, I feel most hopeful that Janet's gonna win her race, okay? Now let's look at the next race, number 12. Weissel just jumped in the race like the day before qualifying, so he hasn't raised any money yet. So right now he's sitting on 3,000, and look at his opponent, 339,000. Wow. So fundraising is a 1. Weissel does not have any elected experience, so he scores a 1. And Dem margin, he's in the middle of the pack, so he scores a 3. So right now he's sitting on a 5, okay? The next race is pretty similar, right? And here's 2 more. So do you get the idea of how the scoring works? What we want you to see this is which races look like the ones where we can make the most difference in help them win, right? Okay, so this was the Senate. Now I want to show you an example from the House. Okay, so this is the top tier, the highest Dem margin ones. And these are the races, right? And again, it's kind of a mixture. Let's look at this race, number 94, okay? Terrence Davis. Hasn't raised much money, but his opponent hasn't raised too much either, right? So that's hope there. It's not like they're hundreds of thousands behind. No prior elected experience, but has 4,600 more votes going in, right? So that's good. This is a race that could really benefit from some help, right? For this candidate to help them win. Now here's Carlos. I bet most of you know Carlos Guillermo Smith, right? He's a current elected official. He's got a perfect score going. He's way ahead in fundraising. He is an elected official currently, and he has strong Dem margin, right? So his race is looking really good. And then there's a whole bunch of other ones, right? We tend to really suffer with a lot of fundraising. So this one, fundraising is really low, right? This one, we're kind of in the hunt here, pretty close, right, for fundraising. Here's one where we're kind of behind. So you can see how it works. What we're trying to do is show you sort of who we think are some of the stronger folks in the race. So when you want to pick a swing district, you can consider this in looking at which ones you want to get behind. Okay, now I want to show you something else that's really cool. Everywhere across the state, and this is my baseball analogy, everyone in the state has the ability to score a single run, to score a single if they're up to bat, because every vote across the state can help us elect our statewide officials, right? So no matter if you live in the reddest county ever and you have no candidate running for anything, every Democratic vote you rack up will help us elect a US senator, a governor, the cabinet, right? All those big statewide races. Every single person in the state of Florida gets to vote for all those folks, okay? But in some areas where we have swing districts, if you happen to be if you work in a swing district, you're actually getting double points, right? Like you're gonna score a double because you get to help all the statewide candidates, plus you're helping that candidate in that swing district, right? So every vote you rack up, it helps that swing district win, and it also helps the statewide candidates win. And there are some areas where you can actually score a triple, where there's two overlapping swing districts, like a House district and a Senate district overlap, right? And you can help the statewide candidates. So if you work in those precincts that make up those areas, every Democratic you vote really helps three times worth, right? And there's actually 2 places in our state where you can hit a home run, where a congressional swing district overlaps with a Senate district, swing district, and a House swing district, okay? So you're getting 4-for-1 credit if we do work in those areas. So let me show you where they are. Here's a little heat map of our state, and these are alphabetical, right? But it shows you where we have singles. Single is white, right? Light blue is a double, a triple, and then these, Miami and Hillsborough, are the places where we have potential home run opportunities, okay? So this is kind of how the state shakes out, right? I'm here in St. John's. In St. John's, the best we can do is hit a single, right? Because we don't have any swing districts. But some of you do. Some of you may be in counties where we have swing districts, or next to counties where we have swing districts. Here's another way to look at it, which might be easier, okay? These are all the counties that have a double, triple, or a home run opportunity. So, and the specific district that is the swing district, okay? So I'll leave this up for a minute so you can see if any of these are your county, right? Or maybe if it's a county not too far from you that you might be interested to help, all right? Let's see. Okay, so Mary Lou, I want to pause right here and see if anyone has questions so far.
Oh, yes, they do.
They do, okay.
Oh, definitely, okay, let's see. Let me go up to, okay, I think it begins here. What about a candidate leaning in a particular district, for example, a progressive in a moderate or conservative Dem area?
Mary Lou, I didn't understand the question. Can you
I'm not quite sure what it is either. Could Ms. Bond please speak about that? Teresa?
Yes, what I meant by that is, do you ever consider points of any kind if you have a particular candidate but has a very different position in terms of the agenda, so that if you have a very progressive person running in a fairly conservative Democratic area, that to me could smell like trouble.
Okay, so that's something to consider. One of the reasons why we're giving you all of these races and listing all of the candidates is because when if you decide to go for one of these areas, these swing areas, you want to make sure that this is a candidate that you all feel comfortable with, that you want to get behind, right? So if I think people we want you to work where you're very passionate and interested and excited to work, right? So hopefully among all that list, there's some candidates there that you will really like and that you think have a good shot of winning, and you will want to be able to do work for them. So we're not telling you which race to pick, right? We're trying to say, look, we're trying to arm you with useful information that you can use to make an informed decision if you want to go and help in some of these swing districts. And you're not required to. I mean, we're not forcing anybody to do anything. If you want to stay home and just work in your home county, hey, that's perfectly fine. Okay, we'll be happy to help in any way we can. But you have this tremendous opportunity to be even more effective if we can concentrate our effort into swing districts we think are really winnable. So we just want you to have this opportunity to be able to pick another race where it's one that we really feel is something that we can win. But all the candidates are not created equal, right? That's why we were showing you, fundraising prowess and what their elected experience is. You should also, if you really want to think about doing a particular race, you should research those candidates and see if there's someone who you really think you can get behind, okay? All right, Mary Lou, what's next?
Okay, one more thing before we go on there. Jean Stevenella, our legislative chair, had sent out a scoreboard for us to use, and it was very helpful when Marie and I were doing this. And I say, this candidate really hasn't done a whole lot for DWC in their platform, so that was considered. The next one is it possible to indicate which races have clubs in the district or not? I answered that for this individual, but for anybody else is thinking that there is only one race that we have, and that is House District 22,
yeah.
And it's Gilchrist, but it also includes Levy and Alachua. So
yeah, so it turned out
in all of them.
One of our orphan counties where we do not have a club in Gilchrist is in a swing district, but it's the only one, fortunately. So that's an area where we can do work just like we were earlier. We text and mail. We tend not to necessarily be boots on the ground, but we might if that's what we want to do. Okay, anything else, Mary Lou?
The question is, I ask if there is a strategy that the leaders use to groom candidates for future elections. That would be more Stacy Peters, wouldn't it?
Yeah, so Stacy just stepped down as our candidate development chair. And I don't know if we really will have another one before the election, but we are always looking. So one of the best things someone can do if they're thinking about running is to go work on someone's campaign where they are running, okay? So really encourage them to get on a campaign for someone that they know and like, so that they can really see what it's like and what it takes to run a campaign, okay? That's the best training there is just get in there and do it.
The next one is a comment that says, this is why we have difficulty finding Dems to run. They do not feel they get support from the state Dems.
Okay, so I am not exactly going to stick my foot in that, but I will say that that's one of the reasons why the Democratic Women's Club of Florida is running a grassroots campaign. We realize that FDP alone is not enough and they need help. They need our help. And so we are trying to run a really well thought out campaign that's effective, that helps us get Democrats elected, right? Einstein's theory of insanity is that if you do the same thing over and over and expect a different result, right? That's his definition of insanity. So we're trying to change up the game and bring our army of capable women and men, a few men, to campaign and really make a difference here in the state.
There's another question. Can the scoring, oh wait a minute, pop down. Can the scoring be provided for all candidates in each county, not just dark blue and home runs?
Certainly there's nothing that says you can't do that analysis. I can always run you some data if you need it, but the fundraising numbers are available either on your local county supervisor of elections, if it's a local official, or the statewide folks are on the Division of Elections. So that's easy to find. I can run you DEM margin numbers if you want. You can just contact me for that stuff. But yeah, it's always good to kind of handicap the races, right? Try to figure out who are the best candidates to get behind so we can rack up as many wins as possible and get people to Tallahassee and Washington.
Another question is it too early to pick a candidate? Donors may wait until the primary to give their support to a Dem candidate.
Yeah, so the way we work is to run our campaign. Donations come through the Democratic Women's Club of Florida Political Committee, because we're kind of candidate agnostic through the primary. We don't put our thumb on the scale for any candidate prior to the primary election. And then whoever makes it through, we are going to get on their team and try to help them. So you can give money directly to a candidate, that's fine. Or you can donate funds to the Democratic Women's Club of Florida Political Committee for the Grassroots campaign. And that's the money we spend for texting and phoning and mailing and all the rest, right? So however you would like to do it, I'm sure the candidates would love your support. I know if you give us money to spend, we're going to spend it very wisely and make it work for us. Okay.
Will we have access to these documents after tonight? The answer is yes.
Yep, we're going to be mailing our presentation and some backup files that show you more of the detail of all the blue and red districts as well for the Florida House and Florida Senate. So we'll send those out probably tomorrow, because there's quite a long list of emails we have to send out to get them out to you.
And that answers questions.
All right. Okay, so we're ready to move on. Good questions, everyone. All right. So now we want to really queue up the decision for you and the reason why we're having the meeting. For round 3, for our last round of outreach for vote by mail to inconsistent voting Dems, we want to know from your clubs, where would you like to focus your effort for round 3? Do you want to campaign in one or more swing districts or in your home county? And it's also an option to sort of do both if you want. There's nothing that says you can't, canvass and work at home and donate money and text, into a swing district. Either way, we're here to help you with any activities that you need at the local level for it. We've set up texting campaigns, phone banking. We've helped design mailings. We just want to know what would you like to do and where would you like to do it? And then we can help you with some of those activities if you need it. So we are asking you, and really we need to hear from your club presidents, right? But we hope your club will have a discussion where you would like to do round 3 in your county and or a swing district or 2. And we really need to hear from you by August 11th, okay? Because once we know which direction you want to go, then we'll start engaging with you to start planning it out and getting everything set up. We need to begin executing our efforts in September, right after the primary is over. We're going to do another big VBM push going into the general election. So really it gives us a couple weeks once we hear back from you to be able to get everything together and get you off and rolling in September. Now, if you decide by the end of July, you know what you're doing, please let us know right away, because the sooner we know, the sooner we can start working with you. Otherwise, we're going to hear back from, 60 clubs on August 11th, and it'll take a little bit for us to get through that. Now, some of you have funds that are on account with in the DWCF political committee already. We track all of your donations by county, right? Because we want to spend it back in the county from which it came for our grassroots expenditures. And I will also tell you that if we don't hear from you by August 11th, we are going to assume that you're not interested in campaigning with us. And any funds that you have on account from your county, we are going to redirect them into a swing district, okay? So we just want you to be aware of that because we don't want to have money in the PC that we did not spend for grassroots campaign for this election cycle, right? People are donating money because we're going to spend it and put it to use. So we kind of need to know by August 11th what you would like to do with your county. Two other requests I have. One is please keep your region chair in the loop. Have a conversation with them. Make sure that they know what you would like to do. And especially in counties where we have multiple clubs, right? There should be some coordination and talking between the clubs so that really you could have a strategy that would coordinate between the clubs as well. That would be really helpful, and your region chair may be able to be helpful in those discussions, okay? All right, let's see. So here's the next steps. We are also available to do a presentation to your club. The reason the deadline for getting back to us is a month away is because we know you all tend to have meetings once a month. So we're hoping you'll have a chance to have your meeting and talk through and present this opportunity to your clubs. If you want us to be in your meeting, maybe we can zoom in or something to your meeting and be able to help explain it. We're happy to do that. You just need to book it with Mary Lou, and Mary Lou is going to put her contact info in the chat for all of you to use. And then, like I said, talk it over with your club and let us know what you would like to do. It's perfectly fine with us if you want to just do work in your home county and your home county doesn't have any swing districts. That's great. Just be part of the campaign, help us do this outreach work so we can win those big statewide races. But if you want to adopt and get into a swing district to help us hit a double or a triple or a home run, let us know that, and we will help organize that work for you, with you, okay? Again, your decision is due back to Mary Lou by August 11th. And if we don't hear from you by that date, we are assuming that you are not going to be working on the campaign with us, and any funds that you have on account for your county for the campaign are going to be redirected to go to swing districts, okay? Now, let's say you decide to move forward with the swing district, then we'll be in contact with you, your region chair, and we're also going to be talking to the candidate campaigns and also the local DEC to see how we might best coordinate our efforts, okay? So there's a lot that goes on once you make your decision, all right? So we really are looking forward to hearing from all of you on what you would like to do. Okay, Mary Lou, any last questions?
Let's go back. I did put my information in the chat, and can we? No, I don't believe we have any more.
Okay, so let me stop sharing. And I just want to say thank you so much to all of you for the work you have done in round 1 and round 2. It has been awesome. I think we are really making a difference in our efforts across the state. And I'm so excited, along with Mary Lou and our whole grassroots team, to be able to work with you on round 3. Can't wait to see how many people we can get elected to office. And Monica, thank you again for setting this up and giving us this forum to talk to everyone. It's really been really terrific.
Absolutely. And I agree that this work could not have been done without so many of you that are on the call. We appreciate you. We are making change. I say all the time, this is not a sprint, it's a marathon, and we're going to take it in an inch at a time, but we're going to get it back, and we're going to make big change here in Florida. So just keep doing all the good work you're doing. Have your conversations, make sure that you please keep your region chairs in the loop. Let's see how we make things happen here. I'm excited about it. So wherever you need me, I'm ready to make a call or knock on a door.
Excuse me, this is Elaine Harris. Mary Lou, I send you something in the chat.
Answering it now.
Okay, thank you.
Was it something that we need to?
Oh, she just wanted to know if Myra Smith was a part of our grassroots team, and I think she's a part of it. Absolutely.
Yeah, I've been doing a lot of campaigns with her. A lot of campaigns.
Dynamic.
Huh?
She's dynamic.
Yeah, so I've been working with her, and I'm available to continue to work with her.
That's wonderful. We thank you.
Thank you. Myra has developed a team. I think she has trained 130 of our members for texting.
Yes.
We have this amazing, and Elaine, I know you're part of this, our amazing statewide texting team.
Yes.
And combined with them and all of you, we have sent over 700,000 text messages for vote by mail.
Yeah.
So Myra's not here tonight. She's on a much needed vacation.
Yes, she's wonderful. Yeah, I just wanted to.
Her ears are ringing because we could not do this without her. She's
amazing.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I just wanted to let you know I'm available to continue with the texting.
Wonderful.
Oh, thank you, Elaine. Very much.
Wonderful, wonderful. So everyone, thank you. Thank you for being with us this evening. I am so excited. I feel like we're going to be able to hit the ground running. Many of us have been doing this work so far. So let's figure out where we want to do it and do it together and win some blue seats, right?
Monica, after the November elections, will we come back together and kind of debrief?
Yes.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Yeah, I can't wait to see that turnout data for vote by mail and inconsistent voting temps.
You've had some good results in the past. I mean, even when you started this with St. Johns County and when you first started, well before, I mean, this thing has morphed so many times, but even then you had tremendous results. So I'm really, really excited about what's going to happen after all of this work that's been done over the last couple of years. So I think that's it. Does anybody have anything else? Okay, well, go forth and elect some Dems.
Somebody just said, let's turn Florida blue together.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I'm up for
Thank
that.
you, everybody. Looking forward to working with you.
Thank you.
Thank you for everything. Good
Good
night.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Great presentation. Thank you, Marie and everybody.
Thanks. Much appreciated.
Thank you, Marie. Thank you, Maria Lou.
You're welcome.
Good night.
Okay, I'll download this and get it over to you. So when you send your information out, I can probably make it into a YouTube or a Vimeo for you. So that you could just send the link with everything else. Okay.
Yeah, super.
All right.
And thank you so much.
All righty. Have a good night, everybody.
All right.
Well, good job.
Good night.